Hi friends, welcome to my blog. In this blog, I'm going to talk about business transformation, which is what everybody is interested to do it. So it's not an isolated improvement, it's going to help any organization. So especially the challenging times which we are going through now, it's a different kind of a challenge. Nobody had ever expected it. So in these circumstances also you need to transform your business and sustain and grow. So that's a major challenge. So how business transformation happens and what are the elements of business transformation, especially we are talking about digitalization, digital way of delivering customer value. And in my previous blogs, I talked about robotic process automation. So I just completed two parts of three-part series, and I talked about how the process automation happens. So usually the assumption is if I automate something and it takes care of it, which is not the case. See how the automation need to be done, whether RPA in itself is enough or not. I'm going to deal with very high level. Everyone knows robotic process automation. It's not the robot which is going to sit next to you. There are software technologies which you automate the repetitive and structured tasks, so human being need not do, because much of the tasks taken away from the human, so your energy is saved and you can focus on something else which human being only can do, like a creative thinking. So RPA works in that particular manner. Also, RPA works like an isolated way according to me, because when I wanted to transform a business, just by bringing RPA alone will not be sufficient, or rather full complete one. So digital process automation talks about a complete transformation of the business, which means you need to know the value chain, how the value is created, how the value is understood, created and delivered digitally to the customer. So what are the digital possibilities I'm going to look? It's the interest of this DPA. So RPA is one sub element in the whole scheme of things where transformation, what we are talking about. So I'm going to give some highlights about how RPA works, how digital process automation works with some examples. Let's look at it. Now, if you look at what is digital transformation and what are the elements which I am looking at it, one is the management. So when I talk about only an automation, which is going to be a task level, process level automation, but I'm talking about transformation, that to digital transformation. What am I transforming? My transformation is all about the business. So unless I bring in other elements of business, which are all the major pillars of the organization, so I'm not going to transform the whole company. So management is one of the key in terms of guidelines, in terms of direction to the company, in terms of what value they are going to create, what kind of a product business they are going to be in or out. So this is much bigger canvas, and then you bring in the automation and digitalization and so on. So management is an important element into it. And then the process, of course. Process means and what are the activities and functions and so on and so forth. Now here the RPA works. When a process comes here, process automation we are talking about. So here I can isolated way I can do, but since it comes from the larger perspective of a value chain, naturally whatever automation you are doing all are in line with the business transformation and the whole value creation. So another element is the systems, tools, the IT systems and so on, how that connects to the rest of the management direction and the process automation. And in fact, process automation will work very closely with the IT systems and ERP and CRM and so on, data and so on. So naturally, there is an interconnectedness with process and IT systems. Fourth element is the people. So how can we ignore the people element of it? Though you will bring in process automation, robotic process automation, you say people are going to be there. You can't replace human. Not that they are going to be there just for the sake of it. Human beings are required for doing much better, higher level of thinking outcome, thinking, contemplating, and bringing creative thinking, problem solving, and so on and so forth. So they are an important element in the whole transformation journey. Pillars of digitalization, how I see it. Okay, now if I have to summarize, what are the pillars, which are the one, when I say digitalization of a value chain or delivering the customer value, the first one is understanding the customer value itself. So for understanding what is the tool available, etc., I'll talk about in a couple of slides later. First, creating the customer value is an important pillars of digitalization. So second is, okay, understood the customer value, this is what is going to take it. But how am I going to do it? A digital way of providing the product or service. Wherever the digital way possible, wherever the less interaction and less complex way of transferring information, status and product information or product status or delivery status or delivering information while the product is being executed, etc. That's the another pillar which is very important. Most of the time customers are part of the value chain, and they need to be in touch with the supplier organization, and if it's more complex and manual, definitely digitalization is going to transform the whole way of experiencing the value creation. So for example, banking, if you take for the last 2 to 3 decades, they have been improving a lot. In fact, the kind of improvements they have brought through digital, and you can do your own business just by sitting at home and just a type of certain keys, and log into your own system and you do transactions. The entire fund transaction can be done digitally. So the level of digitalization is very high level. But here the point is, these are all isolated developments. Okay, account creation is one level, and then transferring money is another level, or getting funds from, these are all isolated developments. But when I say digitalization delivering customer value, we need to understand what is that value creation of that value chain, the business value chain of banking. And it will have multiple touch points. It's not only just account opening, it's not only the fund transfer. If I look at separately fund transfer, let's automate it. Accounts opening, let's automate it. And these are all isolated developments. That's not the way to develop when we talk about digitalization of customer value or business transformation. That's the whole point. Third pillar is the automation. Now the automation comes, knowing the customer value, what am I delivering it to the customer, and the digital way of doing it and automating the process helps you the whole journey of transformation. Fourth will be simplicity in communication. This is another pillar of it. Whenever we think of automation or digitalization, simplicity in communication, both with the customer and within the organization. So how the information exchange can happen without much hassle, less complex, or rather eliminated complexity altogether. For that, if you have to bring in, I just quickly mention what I covered in my previous video blog. I talked about lean at length. You can bring in automation, but without lean, without improving a process, without any optimized process, you take all the processes to automation just because automation is a possibility. Let's automate everything. That's not the way. So if you don't bring in lean perspective or Six Sigma perspective in the value chain, so all these pillars will not make sense. These are all isolated developments, will keep happening. Then there won't be a transformation. It's just a small change. You may feel so, you may perceive so. That's what I'm talking about. So you need to bring in lean perspective or process improvement perspective here. What is the difference between RPA and DPA? Since I started with the difference, what is RPA, what is DPA? Okay, how does it distinguish between two different way of looking at it? Let's look at it. RPA and DPA. So RPA primarily deals with task automation and isolated development. Task means a particular task I do. Let's say I do 20 tasks to complete an MIS report. So then the moment I look at it, okay, let's automate this. A complete automation possible. So henceforth, I don't need to even look at it. Automation takes care of it. In RPA language, this is called unattended task. Unattended means human being doesn't need to attend. The system takes over it. So task automation done. But this is good. But overall value chain, what is the relevance? Will it help the value chain delivery? It's very isolated manner we are looking at it, not at a complete manner. That is what I'm talking about here. Business process level automation is the DPA. When I talk about DPA, then it elevates itself to higher level and then looks at the whole value chain. What are the touch points of customer improvement points, and which are the places I need to automate? Any automation should make sense for value delivery, not just for the sake of automation. Isolated automation, I already mentioned it. And the value chain level, yeah, when I elevate myself at the value chain level, starting at the prospect stage, which I'm going to talk about what are the different touch points of customer in his customer life cycle journey. So the whole value chain improvements to be looked at, and then you bring in automation, then every automation at every stage will make more sense. Third, data related to specific task. Here it's about the flow, because I'm going to look at the flow means starting from requirements understanding till you deliver it. So I'm going to look at all the data information going into the value chain. So it's much bigger in Canvas. Fourth would be quick results. Yes, why quick result? Because it's very isolated, very specific to the area. So quick results. Whereas here doesn't mean quick or late or delayed result, but here it's a continuous because the value chain needs a lot of interconnectedness of the processes to be improved. So it's a continuous journey in the whole scheme of business transformation. These are the finer differences. Some of them I highlighted as critical ones to distinguish. Definitely DPA looks at much higher level. This I picked up from the website. It's not my data point, honestly. Why I picked up? Because just to set the context here. So when I just do RPA, okay, let's do process automation. See, look at the percentage of success rate. 87% they are saying bot failure. 39% deployed, delayed in deploying the whole initiative. 50% harder than what they expected. They felt, okay, let's do automation. Then they found this is not possible. This is very harder to implement or roll out. So the success rate is very low. Why? Primarily because you don't take the entire value chain and the complexity and remove the complexity, which are the places to be done in a phased manner, and then keep doing it on a continuous basis till the value chain delivers the value to the customer. Ultimate aim is not process automation. End in mind is not the process automation. If you do that, this may be the result, but take it as a value chain improvement. Next would be business transformation. Then what is business transformation? How I look at it, there is a customer, employees, there is a partner, there is a supplier, and then the robo comes here, the RPA, robotic process automation comes here. Can you see that when I talk about business transformation, obviously it is not just a task, it is not just a process. Customer, supplier, partner, employee, when I say management, everyone is included in it, and then data, ERP, CRM, that's where the robotic process automation interacts. But it's a very complex web of interaction. I bring in all the elements together and then see how these are all interconnected, each one to contribute to the other, each one to elevate to the other process. Then it's a business transformation. RPA is just a subset of the whole transformation journey. Since I keep talking about journey, a generic customer journey map, touch points. So unless you understand it, you cannot bring in any improvement. Forget about process automation. You can't even understand the process itself, and you can't create design processes unless the customer journey is done. So here I'm going to talk about only 4 levels, generic, start to end, and at length I'm going to give examples, case study in my next blog, how customer journey map is to be done, how it will help to do the identification of touch points and digitalization possibility, how the value chain can deliver the value, which is going to be in my next blog. At length I'm going to talk about. Here I'm just talking about start point, prospect stage. Any product or any service, any value chain you take, the customer can start his journey from prospecting. Who are all the service provider? Who is provider of the car, for example? If I want to buy a car, I'm going to find out who are all the service providers, and I first search and then look at a lot of information about it. Then I will evaluate. Why evaluate? Now I will evaluate the performance, price, and feedback, and customer service, post delivery service, and the pre delivery service, and so on and so forth. Now I am evaluating, and then I decide, and then I move on to the engagement. Now I am going to buy it. Now, since I did a lot of research, I narrowed down. Now I purchased it. Now I am using it, experiencing the whole product and service, and how I interact with the supplier, etc. And fourth would be the review, because now I have a lot of information from evaluations stage, engagement stage, and so on. Now review stage means feedbacks, interacting with the supplier. Though you may interact at every stage, this is a very clear stage by in itself. So you need to understand these stages very clearly, how customer comes into contact and what are those contact touch points and what is the pain point on those touch points, etc. will be very greater level of detail when you do. Digitalization will help. I can't just go and look at a process and then do an automation. It's an isolated. So customer journey map helps. So in my next blog, I will deal this with greater level of detail. So since I talked about customer journey, the whole way of looking at it, so it elevates to the level of value chain, and the benefits naturally when I combine digital process automation, bring in the RPA, and then what are the real benefits if you look at one, human and robo, because at many places human beings are going to play a very critical major role. So a complete blueprint of where all the human touch point, where all the robo touch point, where are the combination of both human and robo will be very evident when you do across value chain. Second is the customer journey, which I talked about in my previous slide. I don't want to cover it again. And third would be organization wide scale up possible, because you are looking at the whole customer journey, whole value chain, in fact. So naturally, organization wide scale up is possible. Cost benefit, because you are looking at the whole value chain. You don't do it isolated way. Isolated way, anything you do is definitely, it is very expensive. And isolated benefit, now what you did a year back on certain processes may or may not be helping in the journey subsequently. So definitely cost benefit will not be there when you do isolated way. Finally, success rate. All this why we are doing is to bring in the success of implementation, which I just mentioned a couple of slides before. 39% of the time only they deployed on time, and 57% of the time they felt very harder than what they expected. All this should go, at least the percentage should go up to 70-80% only when you take it up at the value chain level. All these are may not be, all these are not possible. So bringing both together, definitely benefiting the organization. Now, finally, I just wanted to touch upon business transformation, distinguish between DPA and RPA, and which one should come first, or both of them should come together, or how to look at business transformation. That's what I just covered. But at greater length, a case study of, okay, now if you have to apply in a value chain, how customer journey helps, what are the touch points typically, and which are the digital way, and how the value chain can really deliver by exploiting those touch points, how the automation helps you. That's what I'm going to cover in my next blog. So please do watch out this space. Leaning towards Six Sigma is my blog site, and please have a look at it. Some of other blogs I have talked about RPA and its benefit, lean and RPA, etc. So please do watch out for my next blog on this to continue this discussion, and please do subscribe if you like it, and please do drop in your comments. Whatever place I have mentioned, that's from my experience and from my research. So your comments will definitely add value to me and to others as well. Please do it. Thank you so much.